presented by Valu-Net Fiber of Emporia. I'm your host, Bethany Bowman, and today's guest is Garin Higgins of Emporia State football.
Decorative towel.
There was a mess. I wiped up a mess.
Yeah, you...
Where is the box? Never mind, I found it.
When game day is a go, there's a Bud Light there.
We're back, and this segment is presented by Bud Light, distributed locally by Flint Hills Beverage. Coach Garin Higgins, we just want to know a little bit more about how you guys have been handling the COVID situation. It's been a challenging time for you and your team, but I know you guys have been making the best of it.
We have been making the best of it, I think, and we've been, of course, going all the way back to March when we got shut down, and then getting our players back here in June. So in June, once they got back, we had to. It was different, and we had to get used to it. And we did testing on our players before they could work out, and so that was difficult because they could not work out until the results came back, and we didn't get off to the start that we wanted to. But we we worked through it just like anything else, and we got to be able to adapt to the new normal. And I think that we're doing that right now. And so it is a challenge, but we're actually practicing football right now, which is fun. Yeah, I wish we were playing games, but, that's just not what we're doing right now. And I think we have a good plan in place. I really like our plan. Our staff likes our plan. And so we're just, it's a challenge each and every day, but our guys are doing really well.
Normally in a week's practice schedule, one day for sure would be at least walkthrough. Another day might be used for travel depending on where you're playing. But now you can kind of use more of your time for development. And have you seen some of your guys really excelling as far as fundamentals and skills?
Well, we have. We still have a long ways to go. And just, like what we're doing is we're breaking up our practices into two different segments. So we have a black group and we have a gold group. And our gold group consists of our younger guys, our true freshmen, our redshirt freshmen, maybe a sophomore here or there that hasn't played much. So they're going to practice together, all right? They're going to practice on Tuesday and Thursday for 1 week. And that way we pay attention to those guys. Because in camp, like if we were having a regular season, like our redshirts or our true freshmen, they may get anywhere from 5 to 15 reps during training camp because eventually you got to start preparing for a game. And then those guys go to scout teams. So the development is not always there. Well, now they're able to get coached. So you're taking those 15 reps, now they're getting 50 reps. So it's different. And then we have a black group, which is our two deep, basically, and they would practice the next week on Tuesday, Thursday. And then every Saturday we bring them both together and have, more of a team-oriented special teams type practice. So, again, I like what we're doing because, number one, we can develop our younger guys. And then also with our older guys, they can get more reps too as well because they don't have to, wait for the third or fourth team guy to go in there and get some reps. So I think it benefits us from that standpoint as far as their development.
We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with more with Coach Garin Higgins.
Copier's not working.
All right, stand aside. I got this.
What's going on here?
Ooh, it was his idea.
Family owned since 1963, CPI is committed to outstanding service before you buy and after. We're in the business of establishing and maintaining relationships so your equipment runs efficiently for years to come.
Are you a wizard? Answer me.
Back again with head football coach Garin Higgins. This segment presented by CPI Technologies. Coach, we want to talk a little bit about this team and what you've been able to do for this program since 2012. Second in the MIAA in postseason wins, Corsicana Bowl victory. Most recently, first home playoff game in school history during your time as coach. So for prospective student athletes, why come play here? And, what is the culture like and the buzz, I guess I'd say, around Emporia State football?
Right. Well, I think that one of the things, of course, is we have had success. And we did struggle last year, but we've built this program, I feel like, the right way, and it's not and it's because of the coaches that I've had here and the job that they have done and the type of players that they have recruited. We have set a plan in place even when I first got here. If these were the type of kids that we were going to recruit and we were going to stick to it and we were going to build this with high school football players and cultivate them and make it really be important for them to play here at Emporia State, so when they leave, they would want to come back, basically. So, and that's what we've done. It has taken us a while, but so I think, being a part of a successful program, but then also, I'm a product of Emporia State. This is where I got my college degree from. This is where, part of my journey started, is here at Emporia State. And I am where I'm at today because of what I was able to get done here. Not only playing football, which I was a very average player, but also to get my degree from here. So when I say that, hey, this is a great institution to get an education, it isn't a sales pitch. It is true, because I can point up to my degree that I got. And and I'm proud of that. So, and then if you just look at our staff, it's made up of former players that played for me. So we talk about family here a lot, and I think it's very evident in the type of staff that we have. And then if you look at our retention rate, I think our retention rate is probably the highest in the MIAA. I mean, we don't have players that quit here. We don't cut players. Now, somebody might get in trouble that unfortunately we may have to suspend or get rid of. Those things happen. But our players stay here. And the more that they stay here, the more that they stay here together. They practice together. They do things together. It does truly become a family-type atmosphere. And I think that helps us in moving forward and giving us an opportunity to win games here. We may not always get the best player here at Emporia State, because if you look around the MIAA, there's a lot of schools that have, nicer facilities than we have. I'm very proud of the facilities that we have. I'm proud of our locker room. I'm proud of how we do things. But, kids nowadays, shiny things are important to them. New things are important to them. Well, and we have some new things, but we may not have as much as somebody else. But at the end of the day, we want to find the guys that want to, and we call them our kind of guys. You've heard me say that before, that, being a part of a team, being a part of a place where coaches care about not only your development on the field, but also your development off the field, and know that you're going to have every opportunity to get a college degree here, because we're going to help with that as coaches and monitor that. I think that for us, we want to find those type of guys, that when they leave here, they're going to have lifelong, friends, to where they're going to be in their weddings, they're going to be maybe a godfather or whatever it might be. They're going to stay in touch. And and I love it when former players come back and they come back here to Emporia State. That means so much to me. And then the other thing is, I think just from a standpoint of how we do things, and looking at our players graduate here and they stay here. It's not, do we lose players? Yes, we do. Everybody does. But if you look at it as a whole, I think you're doing something right if you got guys that are staying in your program. So we know it's a challenge each and every day in the MIAA. There's great coaches. There's great players at every other place. But for us, it's got to be a certain formula. We got to do our due diligence in recruiting. We got to out-recruit and outwork everybody because maybe that our facilities aren't the top of the MIAA. So we got to make it be known that we got to get our face in front of families. We got to get out there more. I got to get out there as far as being the head coach and show my face to families and sit in their homes and say, listen, I'm going to do everything I can to help your son, accomplish not only, something great on the field, but at the end of the day, they're going to walk across that stage and get a degree, just like I did. So anyway, that's kind of our recruiting pitch, and it would not work if I did not have the coaches on my staff that believed in everything that we're doing. And that's it's got to be that way. And those guys do a great job. I can't say enough about them. And then also I think our players do an excellent job of when when a recruit comes here, they see that there's some substance. We're going to talk to them, every coach, every player. We're going to make them feel at home to where they see, when they talk about family at Emporia State, it isn't something that they just say. It is real there.
Coach, you did kind of hit on this, but just your big motto of we earn everything, and these guys being able to go on later in life, look back at their time playing for you and for the Hornets, and say nothing was ever given to them, and it was earned.
No question, and that's the type of guy we want. We want survivors, we want fighters, we want guys that understand that to work hard and play together as a team, and then you go out and win games. You earned that. You earned that, and. We pride ourselves on that, and as far as you're going to earn your degree here by doing the right things. If we're going to be successful, it's because we're going to earn it. We're going to earn it the right way. And I think it keeps our guys, I think it keeps them humble, and it's never, you do have issues. You have ups and downs, but that's just part of coaching and, being a head coach of a football program. But I'm so proud of the players that we have now on this football team, but I'm also so proud of the players that have come before these guys that have kind of showed them what the culture of Emporia State football is all about.
Head to another break, but we'll be right back with more here on Corky's Coach's Corner.
ESB Financial proudly brings you Kasasa. What's Kasasa? It's a catchy word for earning cash that just might make you want to dance. Get paid for doing simple things you do anyway. That's free Kasasa checking. Ask for free Kasasa checking at ESB Financial.
Again, here on Corky's Coach's Corner, today's guest, head football coach Garin Higgins. This segment presented by ESB Financial, and it's my favorite segment. We get to learn about you, Coach. So just a little bit about your background to start off, where you're from, even though...
You don't know where I'm from,
I'm not really sure. I think you need to tell everybody.
Well, I'm from Oklahoma, and grew up there, was born in Stroud, Oklahoma, actually. And then my father was a high school football coach, so I think we lived in 5 different places, 5 different schools. I lived in Crescent. My dad was a coach at Crescent, Woodward, Blackwell, Shawnee. Started out at Stroud, where I was born at. And I was an only child. All right, so I do like to say that I was a mama's boy. She did take care of me, and I know that my wife still has issues with that because she has to deal with the things that I didn't have to do when I was younger. But I feel like I always knew that I wanted to coach ever since I was in kindergarten. I just remember drawing up plays. I don't know if there were plays that were any good or anything, but I just remember that was my mindset. It's I didn't want to do anything else but coach football. It wasn't about playing in the NFL or being an astronaut or going and being a doctor. It was about coaching football. I thought riding the bus to football games, I would dress up when I was in first grade and kindergarten in a uniform, and I thought it was the coolest thing. I had a Cincinnati Bengals uniform. My dad coached at Crescent. They were the Crescent Tigers. I just took the Bengals sticker off, slapped the Tigers emblem on there, and I looked like the team because they were orange and black. We were in the Bengals uniform I had was orange and black, so it was cool. So football players, high school football players are my heroes growing up, and a lot of them are still my heroes to this day. And I also got into coaching because the way that my dad had an effect on his players that he has coached and the relationships that he has developed with those guys. I saw that probably when I got older. I was a practice rat. I would follow my dad around. I would build forts with dummies. If I would be walking behind him. If he stopped, I might run into him, during a game or during a practice. Well, it has kind of flipped because he comes up here on Saturdays and I may be walking down the sidelines. He'll be right behind me. If I stop, now he'll run into me. But I always knew. I grew up around football. That's all I really ever knew. And you said it before, I was an all-state quarterback. But, Heck, my dad was the head football coach, so maybe that's why I got it. That doesn't bother me to say that, because every experience that I've dealt with football, it's taught me something in coaching. And then I found out about Emporia State by going to a Kansas City Chiefs game after my senior year. We drove by on the charter bus and looked down. I said, hey, Dad, why don't you send my film, my videotape, because everything was put on VCR tape back then, to Emporia State. And he did. I made a heck of a highlight tape. It was so good that they offered me a scholarship. I always tell people that I tricked them, and showed up here as a true freshman, only child, away from home. I was only 3 hours from home because my parents lived in Blackwell, but you'd have thought it was 6 to 10 hours away, because I was ready to go home after my first week. I was playing for Coach Kramer, who to this day I respect, and who I feel like has had another big impact on my life as far as toughness and be able to fight through adversity. But at that moment that I was here for that week, I thought he was crazy. And I was like, oh, my God, what have I got myself into? I'm an only child. Where's my mom? I got to go home. And I made it through that first week. It was the best decision I ever made. I met, one of my best friends ever here at Emporia State. I had the opportunity to meet my wife. I was a senior. She was a freshman. Okay, so I was able to trick her as well into marrying me. So, it all worked out for the best. And, and then I remember sending my resume out to every school when I got done playing here to go be a graduate assistant. And just so happened, since my dad was a coach in Oklahoma, he had coached at Woodward, and the coach that was the offensive coordinator at Northeastern State in Tahlequah, who is in our league right now, recognized my dad's name, Higgins, and that's kind of basically how I got my first GA job. And that's kind of how it started. And in coaching, if you're young, you got to make sure that you're doing your job and you're cultivating it to where if someone were to leave or a full-time coach was to go take another job, that you did such a good job as a GA that you have that opportunity to go with them. And I had that opportunity. A buddy of mine, one of my best friends, Tim Alvin, left Northeastern and took the offensive coordinator's job at Northwestern. I was a GA at Northeastern. Did a good job, and he took me with him, and that's when I got my first full-time job. So, and I got married actually before I even had a full-time job. And I remember I sold cars out here for my father-in-law at John North Ford for about 2 or 3 weeks, and it was horrible at it. I think I did a really good job of riding around in the cars with people, and talking to them. Okay, I think that's why I'm so good with families. But I really never tried to move a unit, all right, because that's what we call them. We were always trying to move units. I don't think I did a good job there, and then I happened to get the full-time job at Northwestern. So, and I guess the rest of what they say is history. And I did have a lot of success as a young coach, and I think coming here made me a better coach because we got beat, and we lost a lot of games. And I think that made me a better football coach and made me a better person. Because when I was younger, I thought I really knew everything because we won games. We had great players. I don't know how good of a coach I was, but we had great players, So it taught me a lot. My journey has taught me a lot in this profession, and I love what I'm doing. I love the players, and that's the most important thing to me, and staying connected with them as best that I can, and seeing them being successful.
If I'm not mistaken, there is a casino in Blackwell, Oklahoma, right when you come down from Kansas.
Right.
Do you ever gamble? Are you good?
Well, if somebody would say that how I call plays sometimes, they would probably say I'm a gambler. All right, so if there's I like to play like blackjack and things like that, but my wife actually does such a great job of taking care of me that she has control of all the money. Okay, so it's like I got to ask for permission. Okay, to go to the casino. A lot of times, I since she has control of the money, I don't get to do that often.
So we found out that you can't sell cars. You can't
sell cars.
Can coach football though. How about golf? I know you're an avid golfer.
I love golf. Yeah. Still, I think I've gotten better this year just because I had more time. Because with if you're going to do an activity, golf's such a great activity to do during a pandemic because you can basically stay social distance the whole time and ride one person to a car. So. I do enjoy that, and not very good, like I said, but I'm not a guy that does stuff around the house. My wife will tell you that. You know, like I don't fix things. I'm not mechanically inclined. I was a guy in high school when I was a sophomore that my dad told me to get my oil changed and took the car in there, and they asked me if I was going to get out of the car. And, you know, this was back in the day when they would take you up on those lifts, you know. So I said, no, I'm going to stay in. They just took me up on the car, and I thought, man, this is kind of weird right now. I bet they didn't think that I was supposed to ride up in this car when I got my oil changed. So, and I don't even know if I should share that with anybody, but I know some people know about that story. But anyway, so I've been very lucky. I've been very fortunate with the people that I've been around and people that have helped me. You know, and I'm very lucky to have my wife because she does such a great job of not only taking care of me, but also our 3 kids. And I have 3 beautiful kids, 2 lovely daughters. One goes to school here, and a son that just graduated from KU that does a lot of our video work for us. And I think he does a great job. And I have a senior in high school. I'd never ever really thought about being an empty nester, but it's close. You know, it's basically this year, and now me and my wife. We're going to be empty nesters. So I know she's definitely glad that I can get back to work, and we're practicing now. And, you know, I'm not just at the house all the time, kind of driving her crazy, leaving my shoes out and different things that I get in trouble for.
All right, Coach, thanks so much. If you tell us any more, we're going to think you really can't do anything.
Hey, I know it. I know it. I'm very honest, all right, and open. Okay, so, again, maybe that's why players should come play for us here.
But hey, thank you again. We want to thank all of our sponsors, CPI Technologies, ESB Financial, Valu-Net Fiber of Emporia, and Bud Light, distributed locally by Flint Hills Beverage. Coach, we are really missing football here in the community of Emporia, but just know that it's going to be even better when we can see you guys back on the sidelines again. Thanks so much.
You bet. Looking forward to it. Thanks, Bethany.